Yap.
Hi, Michelle Yap. Welcome back to our ToastTalk with the Yappies. After our last episode, which we touched on decoupling, we're very happy to receive many feedback from our audience on the type of topics that they are keen to find out more. And one of them is actually buying properties under trust. And Ning, I remember you have one particular case.
All these years, right, we have clients who really would like to buy property under trust, but the intention is because they want to plan for their loved ones and also at least the legacy behind. So one of my clients actually bought property late last year under trust for his son who is still a minor. And little did he know that this year, sometime in May, okay, the new ruling came out, and then he was like, called me and said, "Hey Ning, you know, I saved 35% on the ABSD."
And I think he was very happy.
Exactly. So with that, even with the 35% ABSD, there are still a lot of clients who genuinely wants to plan for their children, but they do not know how to go about buying property under trust.
Yeah, so today we are very blessed to have Debbie Brittany Lim, who is a partner from Circular Law Chambers, also known as CLC, to share with us on this topic.
Thanks again for having me. Very happy to share on our second topic. You know, most people know and they've realized that trust is actually quite a hot market trend recently. I think mainly it's because it's an excellent legacy planning tool.
For example, properties purchased under trust can also be rented out. And many parents may feel that, you know, the rental income could be used to finance, for example, their children's education or just, you know, maintenance, day-to-day needs. And this arrangement can also provide assurance because, you know, if anything happens to the parent, because there is a property that is purchased under trust for the beneficiary child who is below 21, at least, you know, there is a place for the child to stay and live in.
I actually bumped into quite a lot of my friends back at one of the launches. And I found out that a lot of them was actually there with their parents because the parents had to help them with the down payment. You know, I think nowadays
this is very common, right? Yes.
Yeah, it's impossible to afford a property on your own as a struggling millennial, I guess.
And then this is what we coincide with the last topic that we were sharing, FIRE movement. Okay, a lot of young people want to retire at the age of 40. If without the parents' help, I think it's really very challenging.
Exactly. At least they can lock down the current property prices now, so that when their kid turns 21, they actually have a property in their name already, rather than wait 10 more years. Can you imagine like how high the property price will shoot up? Yeah, at that point in time, I don't think it would be even possible. Those are two reasons, because the parent wants their kid to be well taken care of, and it's for legacy planning purposes. Property market, you know, property as an investment vehicle is very easy to understand. Compared to like a universal life policy, you know, the parent that purchases it for the beneficiary, they only see the monies when the parent passes away. As compared to when they purchase a property under trust, it is something that you can see and manage while the parent is still alive. You know, and it costs almost the same, about $1 million. When they rent this property out, they can keep the rental income and use it to fund their university education. Education now is a huge expense. At least there is something that can generate income for the kid.
Okay. So trust is at least one of the benefits is that, you know, which is very important.
So now we understand why many parents are actually looking at this to help their children.
Definitely.
So are there any things to take note when buying under trust?
They must be aware that when you purchase a property under trust, it has to be financed with full cash. You can't take a loan and you can't use CPF monies. It's irrevocable. So they have to be aware that they cannot change their mind after that once they actually proceed with this.
So regardless, it will still be under the child, and when the child turns 21, alright, the property is under the child's name and the child has the right to decide what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, for example, once the son turns 21, property goes into his name, he decides to sell it and buys a Ferrari to get all the hot chicks. The parent can't say anything about it.
But at least it's a startup part, you know, for the child. Okay. Alright, so this is the point that, okay, parents, okay, you have to take note. But again, I'm sure the parents start out with just one thing in their mind. Okay, it's a love for the child and they just want to plan something for the child, especially in Singapore. The property will just help you. You also want capital gain. in the properties
your
that you
property.
invest.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
So it's always we call it a chicken egg, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks, Debbie, for sharing. I think this is so important, especially for clients who want to know when you buy under trust, what are the things to take note. If you have any questions pertaining to buying properties under trust, you can always contact the Yappies or Debbie from CLC to find out more before you embark in your next decision. Once again, I'm Ning Yap.
I'm Michelle Yap, and do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channels for chats like this, and we'll see you soon at our next episode.